stop scrolling, because one of these pennies could be worth more than your entire bank account, and people are still spending them like normal coins every single day. The first wheat penny is a coin that looks completely ordinary, but a tiny mistake turned it into a jackpot. If you ever see a wheat penny with an unusual color or strange metal, don't ignore it, because some of these have sold for over $1 million. Imagine holding a coin worth more than a luxury house and not even realizing it. The second penny is even more dangerous because millions of people have already spent it without knowing. A small mint mark, barely visible under the date, can turn a 1-cent coin into something worth tens of thousands. Most people never check this detail, and that's why they lose life-changing money every day. And the third wheat penny is the one that collectors secretly hunt for. It looks worn, old, and worthless, but one tiny detail can make it worth hundreds of thousands. The scariest part? These coins are still out there, hiding in jars, wallets, and pocket change. Before you spend another penny, check your coins carefully, because the next one you ignore could be worth a fortune. Before you skip this video, look at the coins around you, because one simple penny from 1945 could be hiding a value so shocking it has changed lives overnight, and most people still spend it like it's worthless. The 1945 wheat penny is one of the most overlooked coins in history. Millions were made, billions passed through hands, and that's exactly why it's so dangerous, because the rare ones are hiding in plain sight. People see a worn brown penny, and they ignore it, they throw it into jars, they lose it in drawers, never knowing that one tiny detail could turn that coin into thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars. Think about this. How many old coins have you touched in your life? How many have you ignored? How many did you spend without checking? What if one of those coins was the one people are still searching for today? The story of the 1945 wheat penny starts in a time when the world was still at war, metals were precious, and the United States was producing coins under pressure. This means errors, unusual metals, and rare variations were created, and some of them slipped into circulation unnoticed. That's where the real value begins. Because not every 1945 penny is valuable, but the right one with the right detail can be life-changing. The first thing you need to look at is the mint mark. Under the date, you might see a small letter or nothing at all. This tiny detail decides everything. Some versions were produced in massive numbers, but others, especially those in higher grades or with specific characteristics, can be worth serious money. But here's where most people make the biggest mistake. They think only shiny coins are valuable. That's not true. Even a dark, old, worn 1945 wheat penny can be worth far more than 1 cent, if it has the right features. Now, imagine this. A person finds a jar of old coins in their house, they almost throw it away, but something tells them to check, and inside that jar is a rare wheat penny worth thousands. This isn't a story, this has happened many times, and it keeps happening because people don't know what to look for. Let's go deeper, because this is where the real money is hiding. One of the most important factors is condition. A coin that looks ordinary to you might actually be in extremely fine condition to a collector. Small details like sharp lines on the wheat ears, clear lettering, and minimal wear can push the value higher and higher. Collectors are not looking at the coin the way normal people do. They see details, rarity, history, and demand. And when all those things come together, the price can explode. But condition alone is not enough. The real hidden value comes from errors and rare varieties. During the production of 1945 wheat pennies, mistakes happened. Some coins were struck slightly off-center, some had doubled letters, some had unusual surfaces, and some had planchet errors, meaning the metal itself was not standard. These are the coins that collectors fight over. Because errors are rare, and rare means valuable. Imagine finding a penny where the letters look slightly doubled or the design seems off. Most people would ignore it, but a collector would immediately recognize the value. That single coin could be worth hundreds, even thousands, depending on the rarity and condition. Now think about how many people have seen these coins and never realized what they had. That's the scary part. The 1945 wheat penny is not rare by itself, but the rare versions are hiding among common ones, and unless you know what to look for, you will miss them. And missing them means losing money. Real money. There are collectors out there right now, searching through rolls of pennies, buying old collections, going through thousands of coins, just hoping to find one rare piece. Because they know the truth. One coin can change everything. But what makes the 1945 penny even more interesting is that it's still out there. Unlike rare coins locked away in museums, these pennies were used every day, and many of them are still in circulation, still sitting in homes, still waiting to be discovered, which means you could have one right now and not even know it. So, how do you find it? You slow down and you check every detail. Look at the date, look under it, look at the surface, look for anything unusual. Does it look different from other pennies? Does it have strange markings? Does it feel different? These small questions can lead to big answers, and big answers can lead to big money. But there's something even more important you need to understand. Most people fail not because the coin isn't valuable, but because they never checked. They assume it's just a penny, and they move on. And that's why valuable coins keep getting lost, spent, or forgotten. Right now, somewhere, someone is spending a rare coin without knowing. And somewhere else, someone is finding one and making thousands. The difference is knowledge. The difference is awareness. The difference is stopping for just a few seconds and looking closely. Because that's all it takes. A few seconds to change everything. So, the next time you see a 1945 wheat penny, don't ignore it. Hold it. Examine it. Respect it. Because that tiny coin that looks completely worthless could be hiding a value that most people will never understand. And if you miss it, it's gone forever. Think about that. A fortune lost because it looked like 1 cent. Before you ignore another old coin, stop, because one simple 1944 wheat penny could be hiding a value so insane it has shocked collectors around the world, and most people still spend it like it's nothing. A single penny, just 1 cent, but in rare cases, worth thousands, even over $100,000, and the most dangerous part is this: you could have it right now and not even realize it. The 1944 wheat penny is one of the most mysterious coins ever created because of what happened just 1 year before it. In 1943, pennies were made from steel because copper was needed for the war, but in 1944, the metal changed back to copper, and that's where something unbelievable happened. Some pennies in 1944 were accidentally struck on leftover steel blanks from 1943. Yes, a 1944 steel penny exists. And if you find one, you are not looking at 1 cent anymore. You are looking at a coin that has sold for tens of thousands, even over $100,000 depending on condition. Now think about this. How many old coins have passed through your hands? How many have you ignored? How many did you never check? What if one of those coins was this one? Because most people don't know the difference. They see a penny, they spend it, they forget it. But collectors, they look closer. And that's where money is found. The first thing you need to understand is this: not every 1944 penny is valuable. Millions were made, and most are worth only a few cents. But the rare ones, the error coins, the unusual pieces, those are the ones that can change everything. The most famous is the 1944 steel penny. It looks completely different from a normal copper penny. It has a silver-gray color, almost like a nickel. And here's the scary part. Some people see that color and think it's fake or damaged, and they ignore it. But that mistake could cost them a fortune, because that one coin, if real, is one of the rarest wheat pennies in existence. Now imagine finding that in your pocket change. Imagine holding a coin worth thousands and almost spending it on something worthless. This has happened many times, and it keeps happening because people don't know what to look for. But that's not the only valuable version of the 1944 wheat penny. There are also rare mint mark varieties. Look under the date. You might see a small letter, D or S, or nothing at all. Each one tells you where the coin was made, and some are more desirable than others, especially in higher grades. Condition is everything. A coin that looks normal to you might be extremely valuable to a collector if it has sharp details, strong lettering, and minimal wear. Collectors don't see a penny, they see rarity, history, and opportunity. And when those things combine, the price can rise fast. But the real hidden value comes from errors. Coins that were struck incorrectly, coins with doubling, coins with off-center designs, coins with strange surfaces. These are the coins that collectors search for every single day. Because errors are rare, and rare means money. Now think about how many coins you have never checked closely. How many times you saw a penny and didn't even look twice. That's how fortunes get lost. The 1944 wheat penny is dangerous because it looks ordinary. It doesn't stand out, it doesn't shine, it doesn't look expensive. But hidden among millions of normal coins are a few that are worth incredible amounts. And unless you know what to look for, you will miss them. That's the truth most people never realize. Right now, somewhere, someone is spending a rare coin without knowing. And somewhere else, someone is finding one and making thousands. The difference is simple: awareness, knowledge, and one moment of attention. Because that's all it takes. One moment to look closer. One moment to check the date. One moment to notice something unusual. And that moment could change everything. So, the next time you see a 1944 wheat penny, don't ignore it. Look at the color. Look at the details. Look for anything different. Because if it's steel, you may be holding something incredibly rare. And if it has an error, you may be holding something valuable. But if you ignore it, if you assume it's just another penny, then you might be throwing away an opportunity that most people will never get. A hidden fortune disguised as 1 cent. And once it's gone forever. Before you throw away another penny, stop, because one small mistake could cost you more money than you can imagine, and the most dangerous coin hiding in plain sight right now could be a 1952 wheat penny. Most people think a penny is worthless, just 1 cent, something you ignore, something you spend without thinking. But what if that same coin, the one sitting in your drawer or lost in your pocket, is actually worth hundreds, thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars? It sounds impossible, but it's already happened again and again. And the reason is simple: people don't look closely. The 1952 wheat penny is one of those coins that looks completely normal, nothing special, nothing exciting, just another old coin from the past. But hidden inside this ordinary coin are rare versions that collectors are willing to pay serious money for. And the worst part is this: you could have one and never even realize it. Millions of 1952 pennies were made in different mints: Philadelphia, Denver, San Francisco, and at first glance, they all look the same, but they're not. Some are far more valuable than others, especially in high condition, and especially when something unusual happened during the minting process. Because that's where the real money is. Errors, mistakes, tiny details that most people will never notice. But collectors, they search for them every day. And when they find them, they pay. The 1952 wheat penny is one of the most watched coins because certain examples have strong details, and in high grade, these coins have sold for thousands of dollars. Now think about that. A coin that was once worth 1 cent, now worth thousands, simply because it survived in better condition than others. That's how powerful condition is. The sharper the coin, the more valuable it becomes. But condition is only the beginning, because the real hidden treasures are the errors. Some 1952 wheat pennies have doubling, where the letters or numbers appear slightly duplicated, and if you don't look carefully, you might miss it completely. But collectors won't. And when they see it, they know they're looking at something rare. There are also off-center strikes, where the design is not perfectly aligned, making the coin look strange, almost damaged, but that damage could be worth serious money. Then there are die cracks, small lines on the coin caused by worn dies, again, something most people ignore, but collectors pay attention. Because every error tells a story, and rare stories have value. Now, here's the part most people never think about. Every day, coins are being spent, lost, forgotten, and among those coins are rare pieces that someone didn't recognize. Maybe they were in a jar. Maybe they were in a wallet. Maybe they were given as change. And just like that, gone. That's how easy it is to lose something valuable. The 1952 wheat penny is dangerous because it hides in plain sight. It doesn't look rare, it doesn't look expensive, it looks ordinary. And that's exactly why people ignore it. But that's also why it still exists in circulation. Because nobody is looking, except the people who know. Collectors don't ignore coins, they inspect them, they study them, they understand what makes one coin common and another coin worth thousands. And that knowledge is what separates someone who spends money from someone who finds it. So ask yourself this: how many coins have you already ignored? How many 1950 2 pennies have passed through your hands without a second look? What if one of them was rare? What if one of them had an error? What if one of them was worth far more than you ever imagined? You would never know because you never checked. And that's how opportunities disappear. Quietly, without warning. The truth is, valuable coins don't look valuable. They don't shine differently, they don't feel heavier. They look exactly like every other coin. Until you look closer. That's where everything changes. So, the next time you see a 1952 wheat penny, stop. Don't rush. Look at the date. Check for a mint mark. Examine the details. Search for anything unusual. Because one small detail could mean everything. And if you miss it, you might be letting a hidden fortune slip through your fingers for just 1 cent.